All right, welcome to round eight. I think it is. Yes, round eight of the MRL Tier 5 Championship. And, okay, there we go. Camera issues right there. Okay, so we're going to be going into Saudi Arabia, Jeddah, for what should be an exciting race. Uh, it's going to be hectic to say the least. What do you think, Dreams?
Yeah, just as I say every week, it's tier five. Something's gonna happen that's just gonna have us looking at the screen, confused. But I think it should be a good race. The three DRS sounds back to back to back. Like I said last week, it's gonna provide some great racing, and I
Oh
think
my god.
it should be pretty good.
Ignore the phone call. You heard nothing. Anyways. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at the circuit. The Jeddah Corniche circuit has 27 corners and 3 DRS zones. Honestly, though, the second one in like the middle of the circuit doesn't really matter too much. It's more of a lead up into that final DRS zone. Overtaking here is going to be quite common. However, also a commonality, unfortunately, may be crashes around this circuit because this is one of the most unforgiving tracks on the entire calendar, to say the least. We already have multiple people out on track, and yeah, this track it's a very high-speed circuit with a bunch of blind corners and very close walls, which all of that in combination is just a recipe for potential disaster, as seen with Lance Stroll yesterday. Like this is a
This
track that
track is
can
about
go ahead.
80% of the lap is flat out, so
Yeah,
it's super high speed. A lot of walls. I mean, the entire first sector should be flat out. Besides for like turn 1, 2, and 3, and yeah, I mean the walls are unforgiving and they're they're very close, and it's a super tricky track to be consistent at. So I think we'll see a lot of incidents, maybe some track limit warnings, track limit penalties. Definitely a lot of front wings.
yeah, and I'm sure for some of the people watching, you're asking, hey, wait, why is this guy commentating? He was racing for most of the season. We needed someone to do comms, and so I agreed to just kind of sacrifice the remainder of my championship to do this. I mean, I wasn't running for the championship anyways, but, I just decided to sacrifice that in order to do this. Um, I will be back next season though, full time racing, thankfully. So that's gonna be nice to do. But you know, honestly, me not racing this week, I'm not too upset about, all things considered. Because this track is super unforgiving, and I'm gonna be honest, I would probably have crashed by now. This is not one of my tracks, to say the least. We have a PW bomb setting the first lap, and that's a 129.297. We'll have to see what other people can do. But yeah, this track, again, super unforgiving, and I definitely feel like this may just be me, but I feel like this benefits wheel players more than controller players, and well, I'm a controller user, so that
Yeah,
doesn't help.
this game is when I made the switch to wheel controller, and I enjoy Jeddah a lot more. I mean, Jeddah is just more enjoyable on this game because F122 sucked. So
Well, yeah, oh my god. Somehow the cars became more undrivable over time
yeah,
in that game. At first it was fine, and then it just got worse and worse and worse until like it just felt like you were driving on a ice skates whenever you did
yeah.
it.
So this track is definitely much more enjoyable on wheel. As Angry Shadow goes fastest, a whole second
Oh,
versus.
our patch goes even faster than that.
That's pretty quick from Norm Bash. Like that's probably the first real time we've seen. Angry Shadow made a big mistake I saw. So I think that 27.8 is probably our first real competitive time we've seen. Obviously Nikki G doing his thing on mediums. Um, yeah, he did his first hot lap without ERS on mediums. So he did a 29.6, I think, without any ERS or just a little bit of ERS. John does where it goes P2, but yeah, Nikki's already 5 tenths up on the medium tire. So I think Nikki D is going to take pole here. As you know, he does a
Yeah.
lot of the time, and then finishes like ninth.
Yeah, in qualifying, in at this track in particular, you have to be really aware of your surroundings and where other drivers are on the track. There's so many blind corners. I mean, like just on board with Cobb there for a moment, there were several blind corners that you went through. So if you're not aware, or let's say you're on a cooldown lap, if you're not keeping an eye out behind you, it could easily cause a crash. Thankfully, I haven't seen anything like that, but it is something to keep of note at this particular circuit because it can cause some severe problems.
Yeah, and it's one of those tracks with like, it's like Monaco. The cars are flying at you when they're coming towards you. Monaco, they're not moving as fast, but it's such a tight, small circuit that it seems like they're flying at you. And Jeddah gets really tight in some areas, but it's also you're you're actually going fast. You're probably 200 miles an hour down the back straight. Down all three of the straights, you'll probably hit that, and they're all blind corners. I mean, the entire back straight is one giant blind corner. So you have to pay attention to the track map when you're on the straights, but you also have to have trust in your other drivers that they'll get out of the way.
Yeah,
But it's definitely one of
absolutely.
those tracks where you'll see quality penalties in qualifying.
Oh yeah, Dutch Raven had a little bit of a love tap with the wall, but managed to keep it together. If I'm mistaken, does he have a quali ban this week?
That's I can look.
I mean, because if he does, and he's setting a lap time, okay, no, he's sliding over to the side. He's going to the pits. I think he does have a quali ban this week, but I think he's just doing a couple practice runs, I guess you could say, which is legal within the rules.
Oh, yeah.
As long as you don't actually set a true lap time. Yeah, okay, he retired the session. Yeah, he's got a quality ban. Meanwhile, we have Toast making his way through on a hot lap. Potential purple sector 2 there. It could just be representative in comparison to Tolby, however. But we'll have to see. Toast now getting a little bit of a tow as that Mercedes is almost in the way, but does well to move to the side in time. Now going through this final corner, you want to go as wide as you can on the exit. Toast keeping it close. So this honestly looks like a pretty clean lap. Now, how does it compare to everybody else? Puts himself P3, so that is a very good time from him. And thus far, no one has beaten Norm Bash's lap yet.
Yeah, a very competitive banker from Normbash. Jeddah's one of those circuits where like some people like I feel like we say this every week, but it's such like a specialty track that some people who really enjoy this track are incredibly fast for their tier. They're Jeddah merchants, and that's not a
Oh,
bad thing.
yeah. There are absolutely people out there who are track merchants at one particular circuit. And it's absolutely out there. I mean, I would say that there are some tracks where just everybody knows it, like Bahrain, Silverstone. Like, these are tracks that everybody knows
Yeah,
and can do well at. Because, I mean, both of them are relatively simple and are some of the most raced tracks in F1 leagues in general. Because, I mean, they're both just really good tracks for really good racing.
back to Dutch. Dutch Driven does have a quality ban and 20 seconds of time penalties. So
Oh, I wonder if he
yeah,
somehow gets 15 seconds for the penalties this race, would that mean a disqualification?
I don't. I mean, he might as well if he gets like, yeah. I mean, 20 seconds is already an
That's
outrageous
brutal.
number.
Oh, and he has
You could
quality ban.
literally,
Like I'd be amazed if he somehow gets points
he could
with
win the
all that.
race by 18 seconds and still finish like P3.
Almost a pit stop gap worth, and
Yeah, he
it,
might as.
mm,
They might as well just have made him do a two stop. But we'll see.
I mean,
That's
two stop might be optimal here because one thing that I've noticed, thanks to my racing in Tier 5 and a little bit in Tier 6 prior, the hard tire sucks in this game. Like, it really sucks. And so many circuits. But there are some
yeah,
tracks where it's really good, but, like, at others, no.
yeah. Jeddah is one of those tracks just because the first sector heats up the tires really well. I think we might see his toe between the Red Bulls here. That Jeddah is a circuit because it has such few laps and it has long straights. Any single tire strat is like any one stop is viable here. Soft medium, medium soft, hard medium, medium hard soft, soft hard. They're all viable. The two stop will probably end up being viable because there's going to be safety cars. Um, but
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
all of the one stops are good here. So we
Oh
saw a
yeah,
little bit of a Red Bull slipstream there. Not as good as it could have been, but Tolby, your replacement, P9.
yeah. Totally did a pretty good job there. Probably better than I would have done, to be honest. Because again, I hate this track. John goes second overall. Brilliant lap from him. Honestly, I mean, this can like you were saying before. This is something that can be said at most tracks, but one thing that's super important is just maintaining good consistency around
Yeah, and it's
here.
super tough here.
Yeah, I mean, keeping a good rhythm around here is essential. It's not like where you can go really creative with your lines, like at Circuit of the Americas, for example, where you can just get a little bit more interesting with how you run it, and still make that work. Not to mention, because this is a street circuit and this track isn't very wide, you got to be super patient with your overtakes. The best way I can compare this track is like this is a much faster Monaco. I think that's the best way to describe it. Super tight
It's like,
corners, not
yeah, it's a
many.
mix of Japan, Monaco. Like I like the circuit, but it
Oh
is a
yeah,
tough one. It is a
yeah.
tough one.
I mean, and into the race, I mean, qualifying I think is going to be quite important because overtaking is not going to be easy. There aren't many real overtaking spots around here. Obviously, around the final corner and into turn one, thanks to DRS. But aside from that, the only other real overtaking spots I can see is the hairpin. Like the hairpin left-hander that is a turn 12, I believe it is.
I think
And
that's turn 13.
uh,
It's over there. There's a bunch of jigs and jags.
right.
Yeah, the last corner and the first corner are super good for overtaking.
Wait,
These
there
are some of the best.
wait, there aren't any Jags here. Red Bull took them over in 2005.
All right. Uh, yeah. Crazy powerful here because each DRS zone you're already opening DRS when you're in 7th or 8th gear. So that extra speed is so much more because it's already taken you past what most engines could do. And then drag by themselves. I think we'll see some setup differences too.
Oh
So
yeah,
who will
setup
have more
variety.
lanes?
Oh
So
yeah. hmm
I
I
think
I
we'll
agree
have
with
a
you.
good race here. Overtaking, there's not a lot of spots, but it's really easy because of the fact that you have 3 DRS zones back to back to back. So it's almost impossible to hold the race lead.
I mean, it is. As evidence, this isn't one tier 5, but this was no assist last week. Yellow Snowman, he ran like I'm pretty sure 10 lower wings than everybody else, and he was like unbeatable in the straights. So,
That's
even a difference like that can be huge, but, you make your car such a low drag car. Oh, Bouncy has a bit of a moment. You make your car such low drag, and you don't give it good downforce, you're going to be struggling. Great example being Lewis Hamilton and Lando Norris yesterday, where, like, there was that one on board with Lewis, and he's catching up rapidly on the straights, and the moment they go through Sector 1, Lando is just gone. Like, that is the kind of difference downforce levels can make around here. So, I mean, it's kind of a risk versus a reward at particular circuits like this one, where, you can run a little lower downforce for that speed boost, but it could be costly in the long run.
Yeah, speaking of speed boost, I mean, Nicky G about to finish his lap. Probably going to go pole here. Yep, 27.6. Not a bad lap to start your first lap on softs. But yeah, 2 tenths ahead of Norm Bash. That lap from Norm Bash looking even more competitive as this session goes on. Omarmo P4, which is fantastic for him. And our championship leader, I was going to mention this. Championship leader could clinch the championship today if he outscores Toast by. Let me get this up. If he outscores Toast by 6 points, then he'd have a 52-point lead over Toast. And if he outscores Bouncy or doesn't let Bouncy outscore him by 11 points, then Jim will win the championship. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot on the line for Jim here this weekend at Jeddah. But if he could just finish in the points, he should be good to clinch the championship next week.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, as someone who's been a former. Oh, okay, what has happened to Cobb? Oh, he tried to turn around there? Oh, that's a terrible spot. I mean, this is one of those moments where it's like you turn even slightly backward, even to turn around, like even a little bit, it can be just an instant disqualification, which that happened to me in Monza at one point. But yeah, that's unfortunate for Cobb starting all the way in the back, which is not where you really want to be at a circuit like this. Like I was saying before with Jim, as someone who's been a former teammate of his and who drove against him multiple times this season, he's a really solid driver, and I fully expect him to be promoted to Tier 4 going in the next season.
Yeah, if you win the championship, you get promoted, right? Like just
I,
automatically.
I do think that is how it works, where it's like if you win, just instant promotion. Of course, we aren't doing another season for this game. After this one, we postponing the next season until the next game comes out. So after this one's done, we've got a decent sized break. And while there have been discussions about what we could do in the meantime, I advocated for a Wreckfest championship. Uh, I just think it would be funny, and that's the sole reason why I want people to do it.
Okay, yeah. We've got We're at the end of Q1. We have a bunch of people starting laps. I just hopped on with Midnight, who just started a lap. Jim just finished his lap with P7 with a 28.1. I mean, this qualifying is actually super close. P2, a 27.8, and then P13 is a 28.6. So there's a second in between 11 positions there. Yeah, which is Jeddah is a track with 27 corners. So Shadow, don't spin. You'd expect bigger times, but it's just such a fast circuit and such a flat out circuit that times really don't differ that much. Except obviously Nikki G with a 27.6 is pretty outrageous as his one and only banker, and some people just aren't replicating that right now. Jake Laser just started his lap, but he's the one in competing for pole. Benzo just went P3 with a 27.8. John Does Work had to abort his lap. Norbash has aborted his lap. So Jake Laser is the only one in the top 5 competing for pole position, along with Amarmo, who is 1.5 tenths down the first sector, gaining on his time right now. So yeah, he's looking to jump up back into that P5, where we haven't seen him in a long time. So, or even, I don't even know if it's all this season, but he seems to be connected with this track better than he has in any other circuit.
I do agree with you there. I raced against Amarmo a couple of times, and he definitely seems way more comfortable here than at any other track this season. And he's lost a little bit of time in that second sector. Still, if he just maintains that current amount, he'll be able to beat Jake Laser, albeit narrowly. I take that back. Jake Laser has improved by almost 2.5 tenths. So Amarmo, despite finding improvement here, he will. I don't think he'll be able to find as much improvement as Jake Laser. If he wants to get up into the top 5, he needs to somehow gain a tenth by the end of this lap. Let's see if he managed to pull that off. Oh, he found more than that. So that's currently P3, but I think Jake is about to make it P4 as he goes across the line. He puts himself. Oh! What a lap from Jake!
Final sector did he do on his original banker lap that he found 3.5 tenths in the middle sector? I mean,
that's crazy. So Jake takes a stunning pole position, and wow, just by like 2.5 tenths too. That's a good gap.
yeah, I mean, that's big. Nikki G did save some softs for the race, so that is big for him. I could go in here. Yep. A lot of people didn't do 3 runs, so a lot of people are expecting a safety car. Is what I'm getting out of this information, that people want to have fresh tires for maybe a lap car, something like that. So we'll see. And I mean, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people not even get to put a lap in. I think it says grade A's DNF, but maybe that was after. Maybe he did that in the pits. So 5 people didn't qualify. So I think we'll have a good race ahead of us.
Yeah, I absolutely do agree. I think this race is going to be quite exciting to see. I mean, we have a lot of people who like, for example, Omarmo, who's usually not up there at the front in qualifying, is up there. So you have a couple of unexpected figures in that top level. So it'll be interesting to see if he can carry that from qualifying into the race.
And JTB Trippin, who is usually pretty quick. I don't know if he. Oh, he's a quality ban. So yeah, I think he's gonna be one to watch fly through the field.
Yeah, JT, he had to serve that qualifying ban last week, but he didn't, and so he got ultimately
Oh yeah, he got
disqualified.
disqualified.
Yeah, which turned my P5 into a P4. So personally, for me, that was great. But
Yeah.
I did feel really bad for him that
Yeah.
he ended up losing out on that. So I mean, I don't know if a soft medium will work here. I mean, I unintentionally found out the soft medium worked in Bahrain. Like that was not my game plan at
Yep.
all.
Soft
But
medium is actually the best strat at Bahrain. Speaking
really.
of softs, Nikki G is it's really weird. I don't know why, but Nikki G starting on softs and Norbash jumped all the way.
Oh, all that work Norbash did to put himself at the top 10 is now rendered nothing as Jake goes through and is in the lead. John trying to fight for second place, loses out and is now down to third. Benzo up to P4, getting past Omarmo, now down to P5. Bouncy also up a little bit. Nathan going off the track, and there's a crash! That's terms, he's out of the race, and that's going to be a safety car immediately.
Some of his front wing. He's gonna have to pit. And Angry Shadow somehow make contact with him. I don't know. If you pull up the tires,
Yeah,
other than
oh
John,
wow, huge spread. One exception out of all the medium soft runners is Movement Night on the hard tires. But yeah, most people starting on the softs, and yeah, there you go, soft medium according to the game. So yeah, it definitely seems to be the most viable.
yeah. So mine was mine was really bugged. And when I pulled up the tires, it was like Jake Laser was on like 8-lap old tires, and Nikki G and John were on 4-lap old tires, which was I was a little bit confused, so I wanted to see what it said on stream. But after the first sector finish, it fixed itself, and they're all on. I don't know.
EA moment.
Yeah, totally just EA being EA. So we're gonna see a lot of people pit here. I think we saw a few front wings get popped off.
We're gonna see
I
a few
know our.
more later.
Oh yeah, like a lap one safety car, like you can't
It,
even be upset because there's
yeah,
gonna be more.
yeah. I mean, like seeing a lap one safety car in Jeddah. I mean, that's just par for the course of this track. Like,
Yeah,
and this isn't even saying any of the drivers here are bad in any way, shape, or form. It's just the nature of the beast when it comes to this circuit. Like, it's going to happen.
It's a super tight first sector. Angry should pit and get rid of this 5-second, I think. No, he's not. He doesn't have any damage. Jim is gonna pit because I saw his end play was missing.
Yeah, you know, one thing that really sucks, Norbash cannot serve his drive-through penalty while the safety car is going on. So he's going to have to be stuck in line with everybody else. So then that gap that was there is going to be shrunk to nothing. And on top of that, he has to serve that drive-through penalty probably immediately or he's going to get disqualified. So he's going to be losing so much time for that.
Yeah, if I was Norbash, what I would do here is pit so that you're at the back of the field, and then it's such a like at the start finish line is super early in the straight, so it goes to green flags pretty early. So you can pit as soon as the safety car comes in and the leader crosses the line, because then it's technically green flag. So
That's actually ingenious. I didn't even think of that. That's actually like a really smart way to do that.
That's one way to
Damn.
not lose as much time. Yeah. So it's just he may be listening to the stream and may hear that, but
Hey Norbash, if you're listening, that's actually not a bad idea. By all means, go for it.
yeah, he can hop on the hards. I mean, those mediums probably have 2% wear on them, so he can just pit onto hards, onto set of mediums, whatever he wants to do. And then yeah, just going until another safety car happens.
Yeah, Dan in the chat said, I just noticed that your name in the Discord is Alpine Downfall Enjoyer. Mark, how much do you enjoy Tier 6? I mean, okay, to make one thing clear, like, I don't have a problem with the Alpine team in the league or anything like that. No. The only downfall I enjoy seeing is the real life Alpine Formula 1 team, which, I mean, that's been beautiful to witness in the past couple of weeks, all things considered. but
The Alpine downfall.
I mean, well, yeah. I mean, the reason why I have beef with them is because they have all the ingredients they need to be a top team, and they just go as mid as they possibly can, and it's just infuriating to witness. That it's just like they just keep fumbling over and over and over again in such spectacular fashion. They fumbled with their engine. They fumbled Alonso. They fumbled Piastri. They fumbled with Gasly and Ocon's teamwork. They fumbled this entire year's car. They fumbled their reliability. They fumbled their team principle. Like, their technical and Arrowhead just recently, they also fumbled. Like, so many things going wrong when it should be going right. And it's just, why?
Yeah. One thing that we didn't say anything about is JTB Dripper just gained 8 places.
Wait, oh my
Uh,
god, he is.
he's in P10 already, so
Well, looks like the
I
quality
was
band made no difference.
yeah, I was just looking. I was like, how is he? Yeah, I don't know how he's that far up, but we're gonna see the safety car come in this lap. So hopefully we get to see more than the first sector. And was it straight to a safety car or was a VSC in between
It,
the two?
it was no, it was straight to safety car. Yeah,
Okay.
I generally don't have any beef with like the MRL Alpine team at all. Like Benzo, for example. Benzo's great. I love Benzo. And no assists whenever he ends up on the podium. Unfortunately, that hasn't happened in a while, but like it's great. Like it's great to see him up there on the podium whenever it happens. Bouncy is a cool guy. Like I don't have a problem with any of the Alpine drivers in the league. I just have beef with the real life team. I I do not like them at all. I do, however, feel bad for Ocon and Gasly, considering, I think both of them are genuinely good drivers, but they're just given a terrible car to work with. It was. So, fun fact, everybody, that car was a tenth and a half slower in Jeddah this year than it was last year. How do you go
Yeah.
backwards in development? Please
So
explain.
this is a really long restart. So there's plenty of things he can do. Jake seems to be taking it kind of fast, kind of slow. He's just in the middle there, dragging the brakes like he should to keep the tire temperature up. Normbash doesn't have to be at the back. He can still do what I said, but it's just a bit sketchier if he does it in ninth.
Yeah,
But yeah, we'll
that would
see.
be kind of close for Normbash if he did attempt that. Jake is honestly going to be under some pressure though, with the two soft tire runners right behind. I mean, those
I think
softs are
that's
going to last for forever, so they're going to want to attack sooner rather than later. Shenanigans going on
John.
between Benzo and Omarmo in the back
He
though.
gets a fantastic restart.
Oh, John is already going to be in danger. Benzo has such a straight line speed advantage. It looks like. Oh wait, hang on. Might be a little bit of action going on here. That's Bouncy going around the outside of Omarmo. Squeezes through and takes fifth place. Great move from Bouncy. Omarmo also now in danger from Toast, who's just behind. But yeah, that was a great overtake from Bouncy. Just maximizing an opportunity on the restart.
That's huge for Bouncy. He's up with his teammate, and those two can work together. They will have a tire advantage in not too long over John just working Nikki G. So if they can stay in that DRS and then bring themselves back up to Jake Laser, they can work together, pretty much be one car with 200% battery, with, be 2 times as wide. They can be one. If they're working together in a party, they can be one car, just taking up 2 spots.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, with the way DRS works here, you could easily make a DRS train with just 2 cars, I guess you could say. So, like, Bouncy sticking behind, keeping the DRS, which would force Omarmo to remain behind. And just a really unfortunate situation for Omarmo and everybody else behind, but a great situation for both Alpines because
Oh my goodness.
oh no!
They just crashed in a straight line somewhere.
And my replacement has DNF'd. Unfortunate to see. Safety car is out once again.
Oh,
Do we see any soft tire runners spinning? Also,
Possibly.
Norbash can't serve his own.
Still cannot
He
surface
still
drive.
can't. I mean, okay, I've seen this glitch in previous games, but is there a possibility the game disqualifies him because he isn't serving the penalty?
I think this is the only thing that F123 got right. Okay, Nikki just crossed the entire pit entry line. The only thing this game got right without any bugs is the fact that drive-throughs under safety cars don't count as racing laps. And Nikki G is going to 2-stop from here, I'm guessing. Same with JTB Drippin.
Yeah,
Nikki,
this is a double stack. JT's getting ruined here.
Oh yeah, you think he's gonna
Oh,
go to the end on hards?
I
JT's gonna go on to another set of softs.
okay. Interesting choice from JT. I don't think this is the right strategical call from either Aston Martin here, though.
No,
Like, I
maybe actually I don't think JT's is too bad
I
because he can go
J
medium
J
soft to the end from here,
JT's, I mean, going for
or
the
soft
soft
medium.
tire, I think isn't the worst, but like going on the hard tires now until the end, like, I
Yeah, that's not
mean,
gonna work.
yeah, one thing that I've brought up in previous streams is the overcut is so powerful in this game. Like, where the undercut was better in the previous game, for example, I think the overcut is better in this one. Like,
I think it's a I think it's a mix of both. I think you can go really early and fresh tires have such an advantage, but you're gonna suffer at the end of the race. But pitting on to faster tires at the end of the race, I think works out a lot too.
yeah,
I think it's just a
I
mix
lean
of
more
your
towards the
pace.
overcut, honestly.
Yeah, I think you have to be able to. If you're one of the faster drivers, I think you can overcut really easily because you shouldn't come out in traffic. And if it's a tight field spread, I think the undercut works because you're not gonna come out in traffic, and you're gonna be able to use those fresh tires to an advantage.
Yeah, I'm fortunate that both Angry Shadow and Toby have DNF'd. I really hope that Toby will be able to secure some good points in my stead, but unfortunately that isn't to be. Then again, at this circuit, I would have fared no better. I This is one of the worst tracks for me. Like, straight up, this track is terrible. Monaco is another one, and I still question how I scored points there. But
Just don't crash. You have a good chance.
yeah, that's literally how I played the game for that one. Of course, other shenanigans occurred, which I'd rather not talk about. Thank you, team, by the way, for getting me slicks and wet weather. Love you for that. Anyways, Jake, I mean, he's still leading this. He's still in a comfortable spot. And meanwhile, Alpine, they're in a great spot right now. So is Haas, actually. Omarmo is in 5th, Nathan in 7th. They could score really good points. A lot of the teammates seem to be pretty close together for the most part, actually, now that I'm
Just the
looking at
Mercs
it.
are screwing things up.
Yeah, I mean, like, you got the Alpines near each other, the Haas near each other, Ferraris, Alfa Romeos, Williams, Aston Martins aren't too far off. The biggest gap, like you mentioned, is between the Mercs.
Did JC just break his wing under safety car?
There's no way.
He fixed
There's
his wing.
no way oh my god.
I mean, he's gonna just have fresher tires.
I mean, that's true, but I mean, like, all that work, he put himself into the top 10, and now he's back down in last again.
He shouldn't be pushing that hard right now. Don't put any more wear on your softs. Just
Yeah, I mean,
drag
yeah,
the brake. You're gonna catch up.
yeah, just cruise through that first sector. Now, this first sector, I honestly feel like there's two ways you can run this sector, and that's just kind of, cruising through and pushing as hard as possible. Now, cruising through, it's easier on the tires, it's safer, you're less likely to crash, but, the faster you go through there, the higher likelihood you're going to have an unlikely encounter with the wall. So, I mean, depending on how you push it.
This year, the first sector's not as bad on this game.
Yeah, I admittedly haven't played on this game. Last year, oh my...
It was tough. You could do it, maybe in qualifying, but it was like you lift ever so slightly, flat out, ever so slightly. This year, it's just all flat out. You don't even have to brake. The right hander kind of at the end of it, you can lift off if you lift off early enough. But yeah, this year the first sector is.
JT commented this thing. He said he didn't know he had damage.
Fair enough. I mean, it's a good time to do it.
Update. Shadow tapped the rear of Toby, said Toby in the wall, causing both to DNF.
Ruh-roh.
Yeah. I didn't expect you to say ruh-roh of all things. I mentally was not prepared for that one, but here we go.
Jake's gone.
Yeah, he got absolutely gone. He just completely bamboozled everybody behind him, and he is almost a full second clear out the gate. Meanwhile, any chance for an overtake behind, I think Moo is putting one under consideration, but on the hard tires, that would be a little aggressive to attempt that. He's still thinking about a move on Great Ace, but that move is not occurring. Meanwhile, Toast...
JT got both the Williams.
You're kidding. Oh my god.
How do you do that on one shot? I
How do
don't know.
you do
Um,
that? JT, what is the secret
no,
ingredient?
no.
No way! There's no way! JT's out of his mind! What? That was an incredible overtake from JT.
I just watched Cobb K take that turn 8 curb and just
Oh,
plant the brakes. Did he hit the wall?
JT! Oh my god. I don't know how he managed to make that move weighed down by the sheer size of his balls from that move. That was absolutely incredible. I did not expect him to do that, but he's not playing any games at the current moment. Meanwhile, Omarma's starting to lose touch to the top four. This is allowing Toads to reel him in that much easier. Full second clear. That is not good news, because that's going to mean no DRS for him, and that's going to allow the other cars behind to slowly start gaining. Meanwhile, JT just made a move on his teammate as well on top of that. Either that or Nikki G just let him by, which honestly would be a pretty good call. JT is on the faster tire at the moment. But let's see. The two Alfa Romeos going wheel to wheel, but I think an Aston Martin is about to go in between. JT has to be burning so much battery. This is one Alfa Romeo. Is he going to go for another? He's braking late, but Jim brakes just a little bit later. Oh, Midnight was still there. JT tries to make the move. Aston Martin and Alfa Romeo duking it out at the current moment. And JT managed to come out on top of one. Oh, and Midnight goes wide, and that allows Nikki G to get through as well.
No.
JT just... No, he didn't just do that, did he? He did not...
No, he just... I was going to pull up the constructor standings, because I think these two are leading the constructor. But JT just... That was outrageous.
JT is out of his absolute mind right now, and it's kind of incredible to see. Meanwhile, Toast did pull off the move on Omarmo, and now he just needs to put some distance between himself and the two Haas cars, but they're keeping up quite well at the moment. And Jake has just pulled away now. He is fully clear.
Yeah, I don't know how Jim let that happen.
Jim just got caught lacking, I think. I think that's just the simplest way to describe it. Meanwhile, Cobb gets past Ted and is now up to 15th place.
Yeah, and Toast jumps Omarmo and is pulling. This is a big race for Toast and Bouncy with Jim taking that lap 1 damage, and Jim does not seem to be on the pace. He's not scoring any points right now, and if Toast, 10 points Toast needs to win the race. He needs to win the race. He needs to be in the top 3 at the very least, because he's not close enough right now. He's 46 points back. If he can gain 25 points on him, this championship could go down to the wire with 2 races left after this. But, I mean, if he only scores 10 points, a 36-point advantage is still quite big.
Yeah, we currently have... Yeah. We currently have 5 cars. Yeah. We have 5 cars battling it out for 3rd place at the moment. Bouncy leading his teammate, a Mercedes, and 2 Haas cars all within range. We also have a battle going on for 8th place as Jim has quickly reeled in Great Ace, and this could be another overtake coming from the Aston Martin driver soon enough. Yeah, just that speed difference he's got is insane. I have a feeling he may be running a little lower downforce compared to other drivers, which means more wear on the tires, but that speed difference is absolutely insane to see. You can already see him starting to reel in that Ferrari little by little on that straight line. He has to be running low downforce. He's not even consuming battery right now. JT is not patient at all. He just goes for it.
No, that's Great Ace. If Great Ace didn't have such a bad corner, he'd come right back at him. He's going to get a double dose of DRS. He's going to use a little bit of battery. JT could have just stayed behind, not have lost that much time.
Yeah, but now he's going to lose that position all over again, potentially. Great Ace, though, has no battery left in his name. Well, JT actually has a little bit more than that. Great Ace, though, with DRS, could potentially fight this move back. He's gaining. He's getting closer. I don't think it'll be close enough to make a move. Yeah, way too late. JT brakes super late as well to avoid that happening in the first place. Meanwhile, a gap has formed between the Alpines and the Mercedes. Nathan! Oh, that's a VSC. And that's a broken front wing on top of that.
Did he break anyone? Because he just backed up into the racing line. I don't know if he hit anybody.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, VSC. Depending on how long this stays out, we could see, John pitting, maybe Jake onto hards. Oh, full safety car.
Oh, there it is. Well, Hey everybody, if you're a soft tire runner, congratulations. You literally just got the freest pit stop imaginable.
Yeah. What does JT do here?
Pit.
I think he's upset. Yeah, he definitely seems to be upset with the leaving,
Honestly,
but
honestly for JT though, like he's on soft tires at the current moment. He's in P7. Still has a set of mediums yet to use. Pit now,
yeah,
and he's
I
gonna
think
be in a
mediums.
really good spot.
That is gonna be. That was a VSC first, and then a safety car. So that's our third safety car. So we have two safety cars left. I think you go on to mediums from here.
Oh
Maybe
yeah,
hards. Maybe hards if you're planning. I mean, Jake Laser, Bounty, Benzo, they have to go on to hards. And it may work out for them because maybe a safety car comes out in the next 2 laps and they have fresher mediums. But
yeah. I mean,
we
honestly,
shall see.
I suspect that the medium hard runners have made a strategical error at this point. Like for those people who made that strategy, I mean, obviously for the medium runners, it's an GT nearly loses the car around the final corner. Good save by him. Jake is pitting. Everybody is looking like they're pitting. Nicky G stays out, of course, because that's his strategy.
Benzo's gonna
Min
lose like 4 spots here.
Yeah, everybody, with the exception of Nikki G, is going to be
Toast
pitting, it
can't
looks
go.
like. Wait,
Toast couldn't go because the Alpine was ahead of him.
oh, that sucks for Toast.
And it
Oh.
brings his championship rival right behind him.
And it puts JT ahead. So JT, Toast, and Jim all right next to each other when we go into this restart. Sparks are about to fly. Potentially, literally.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, what was a decent position is now horrific for Nicky G because he's leading currently, but with used hard tires and everybody on fresh ones behind him, like Nicky G is in a terrible position. He is going to he's starting for the top, but he is going to get swallowed up so quickly.
I really don't understand that call.
What call? The hard tires?
Nikki.
Yeah,
staying out.
I disagree with that call wholeheartedly. He had a set of medium tires he could have used, right?
Is a fresh set of mediums, yeah. And
Yeah, I like this was a very big strategical error, I think, from Nicky G, and it's going to really hurt him by the end. I think he's going to be lucky if he finishes in the points, unless another safety car happens. In which case, this is going to be a brilliant spot for him.
the safety car might happen because he's so slow and gets punted off into a wall.
Oh, hang on, I gotta look at this very important comment from Mark. Mage, can you do the Macarena? No. I do not dance. If you ask me to dance, you're gonna watch me fall over and somehow break my neck. I cannot dance. There's a reason why I did band class in high school and not dance class.
I'm still not doing a TikTok dance. I expect to see him pop up in there and be like, Gene, you do a TikTok dance? I don't even know if he's here, but
Yeah.
just preemptively.
Yeah, I mean, I did band in high school. I played the trumpet. Honestly, I was good enough to where I think if I really wanted to, I could have made a professional career out of it, but I would have had to put an immense amount of work to make that happen, and also, like, competition in that field and the amount of available positions, like, I was looking at everything, and I'm like, you know what? Let's not.
I didn't get the cut, D Master. Maybe next week. Maybe next Sunday we'll have the cut. We should have the cut next Sunday. We'll see.
What
I might wait a couple bit. We love to talk about haircuts at Tier 5 here.
Oh, I actually just got a haircut yesterday.
Oh yeah, peep the cut. No, JT did not pass him to the safety car. Toast got held up in a double stack, and so did Benzo.
No, JT passed under safety car. Absolutely, it's all his fault. He 100% did it. Guilty.
Benzo got double stacked, and JT or Toast was just sitting there looking at Benzo getting double stacked.
Yeah, don't mind me and my misinformation.
Yeah, maybe next week Dreams will come back with a low tape of fade.
D-Master, we continue the haircut talk.
Yeah, I mean only 3 retirees, but
yeah, 3 retirees is pretty good, all
I don't
things
even
considered.
remember when did Terms was that the first lap?
It was literally the first lap he crashed out in Sector 1.
I didn't even see like. I thought it just like because a bunch of wings were on the ground.
No, he smashed into the wall on the left side and
Fair
died.
enough.
Yeah. Wait,
So,
shenanigans going on up at the front. Nikki G and
uh,
Jake Laser. What is Jake doing?
n-
Wait.
I guarantee Jake is an AI,
N-
and Nikki was backing off the safety car and his AI overtook.
Jake just cheesed the lead from Nikki. I don't know if
So
that was
yeah,
on purpose or not.
so that's definitely gonna be a penalty. So Jake is not gonna finish in P1, guys. So this is definitely gonna be like a 5 to 10 second penalty.
That's
Uh,
absolutely insane.
yeah. Regardless, it's like yeah, it's not gonna stay like unless he gives the spot back right here. No, okay, never mind.
Different
Maybe he
haircuts,
gives the spot
same.
back after the
Well, the
straight.
different commentators, same topics. Yeah, I mean, we enjoy some consistency around here. But
So
yeah. Oh, here we
Jake
go.
needs to give this spot back, or else like he
Yeah, Jake, just slow down and give him back that P1 into turn one, like nice and easy. No, he's just running away
I
with
don't.
it.
I
Like,
genuinely don't understand like how you can just be okay with that. Like as a person,
I mean, yeah,
like
I would have just immediately like pulled up and let him take it immediately into turn one, like out
I
the
would have
gate.
just like went off the corner out of like either just let him go on the start finish straight, or just like pull off to the side like out of the last corner.
I think I know what Jake's game plan is. I think his game plan is I got a penalty and I know I'm screwed, so I'm just gonna run away as far as I can and hope the penalty doesn't hurt me.
I mean, yeah, but they might just do what they did with Simon and Freddie in Tier 2 and just give them a grid drop because I mean, you can't just overtake someone who stayed out to try and defend and then just get a free overtake. And now you're obviously going to gain probably 6, 7 seconds in theory of time that you would have spent behind Nikki G. I mean, he's already 1.4 seconds and Nikki G's used more battery than him.
Yeah.
It's outrageous that like he should have seen that and yeah, I don't. Oh, Bounty just took off his entire front wing. That might be a safety car too. Oh,
Oh
yellow
man.
flag didn't even come out. Well, that's funny. Yeah, Bounty just took off his entire front wing by himself. Gonna give Jim another position. Jim
Yeah,
somehow ends up on the freaking
I'm
podium. I'm gonna throw a
really
fit.
yeah, I'm really having to resist the urge to make my Red Bull joke here, but I'm not gonna do that here. Omarmo is now up in the top five, but he's going to have Jim and Toast approaching soon enough. Meanwhile, there is a pretty close battle going on here. You can
JT's
see
gonna
that
switch
very
back.
clearly. What a move from JT to get to have John. And now both Astons are ahead of the Red Bull of John. But my question is JT going to fight his teammate here? Or is this going to be like buddy-buddy and Nikki's going to let JT through?
I don't think he's gonna have a
Oh!
choice.
Yeah, JT is not having it. He's gonna want to find a way through sooner rather than later.
He's giving him the wiggle of let me through, and I don't know if he did that on purpose, but he's going to let him through. And we have a yellow flag behind. What happened there? Don't know. Maybe Midnight hit the wall. God.
John hit the back of. Oh no! You're kidding me!
Oh.
John hit the back of Nikki, and I saw it just in my mind disconnected because I freaked out from it. Oh.
So from my point of view, I gotta clip that because I was
genuinely.
looking at someone, and then I like switch back and I just see like I don't know if it was an Aston Martin or a Red Bull just sideways on the track and someone just plow into him. I'm gonna get the clip and I'm gonna put it in chat. We got to do a replay of that or something.
Yeah,
Because,
like
oh my god.
I know Omarmo, and I already know he's gonna just say something along the lines of, "I can't catch a break in this tier, man." Like, oh my god, he's DNF'd again, and this one was not even close to his fault. He was just wrong place, wrong time for Omarmo. I feel really bad for him in this situation. Oh man! Hey, look, safety car for all the hard tire runners. Feel free to go in. Wait, they didn't go in. Why didn't they go in? That you could have gone for medium tires. That was literally an optimal. Okay.
I switch onto a Marmo, and the game just knew that he was gonna DNF because his tire is already broken before he hits Nikki G. And then I switch onto a Marmo. All I see is it's like half a second I switch onto a Marmo, and he's just in Nikki G. I click up to John, just work is looking into a wall. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
This is horrific.
JT pit onto softs? Why?
Wait, who did what? Oh, no. Softs is actually a good call. Softs is
Softs die after 5 laps compared to mediums.
No. Let him cook. Let him cook. I think he's got something here. I'm gonna let JT cook. This is actually not the worst call.
He should have just been on the medium.
No. Hear me out. It'll work. It'll work.
We're out of safety cars too, so
yeah. Hear me out. It'll work. He's not going to win, but I think a podium is on.
You're not cooking.
Let's see. I think he's cooking. I think he's cooking.
He's cooking like wet bananas. Like he's not cooking anything.
Yeah, Minico is in shambles. Oh my.
And Jim just.
Sorry about that.
Valentine somehow took off his entire front wing and is still in P9. Norbash finally served his drive-through. He's in P8 now. Fresh medium, so he's in like net P1. Maybe JT is, I don't know. Jim is somehow in P2. Don't understand that. Yeah. Jim is. If this stays like this, Jim wins the championship.
I mean, I bet Jim will be more than happy to wrap this up early.
Yeah. Bouncy has to come back and outscore Jim by 11 points, I think it is. Yeah, 11 points to have a chance. He's 63 points back, and there's 52 points left on the table after this race. So, yeah. Jim gets P6 and fastest. If Jim just gets P6, I think he wins. Well, maybe it bounces. I don't know. I can do it, but I'm just dumb.
You can do it, you just don't feel like it.
I'm just dumb. Yeah. So, Jim, at the very worst, if Jim finishes P5 with the fastest lap, he wins the race. If anyone else... Yeah, Jim at the worst has to finish P5 with fastest lap. If he finishes P4...
Yeah, Aaron in the chat says, I had to say something when he talked about the only 3 retirees. I'm really glad that instead of a commentator's curse, it's a commentator's curse this time, so then I don't have to increase the curse counter that I have there.
Yeah, by the way, what I said was really dumb and just not true.
I mean, hey, we enjoy spreading some misinformation every now and then,
If he finishes P3 with fastest lap, he wins the championship. If Bouncy wins. If Bouncy finishes P2, Jim can finish P6.
I mean, Bouncy's P9, so I don't think it's going to be too much of a problem at the moment.
Yeah, but Bouncy's on those fresh-ish mediums.
Yeah, but then he's going to fight through like multiple drivers to get close to that, so that's going to be easier said than done.
But JT's also done like last to 10th to last to like second to last, so it's Jeddah. Anything can happen.
It is. Anything can happen. That's very true. We'll have to see if Jake can pull away, though.
Yeah, he's going to be on some of the best tires.
Well, yeah, I mean, Jake is going to get a penalty for that little moment.
Oh, yeah.
That means Jim could win this if he keeps up. So, Jim could actually wrap this up entirely.
Yeah, I mean, Jim finishes P2, he wins the championship. Jim has the championship in his hands now. And probably just stay within like 5 to 10 seconds of Jake. And you'll probably
JT already making moves. Ted breaking late, almost into the back of JT. Meanwhile, Normbash is... Oh my god, that was almost another wreck. That was terrifying.
Is Bouncy going to hold his position? Oh, brakes really late.
Bouncy is really wanting to hold on to this, and he manages to pull that off. Now up to P8. Now he's going to find a way past Ted, because he's already losing a lot of time behind this Williams. Ted goes a little bit wide. Bouncy looking for an opening. It's not presenting itself. But now it is. Ted just simply relinquishes. He doesn't even try to
Norbash is
fight
gonna get
it.
in slipstream. He's
Norbash
gonna go
going
down
on
the
the inside! Oh, there's no way. There's no way.
Bouncy's gonna
He's
hold
going
his line.
for
He's
it.
gonna get a much better exit
Oh,
too.
and Norbash loses out in the last moment. And Bouncy gets ahead.
Got to get on it.
Norbash is keeping him honest, though. He's got genuine good pace around here. Bouncy needs to be careful, or that Ferrari will be a genuine threat. Ted loses out on multiple more positions. Did he lose a front wing or something?
I think he's just slow. Oh, and he makes contact with Cow King. Nikki G finally put onto those mediums. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
Norbash is genuinely keeping up. Meanwhile,
P&W
Bum is fighting Jim here. Midnight also on the inside of Bum, and JT is now within range of the top four.
Yeah, these three are just battling out. Jim doesn't need to fight for this win here. He knows. He probably is hearing the stream or someone's telling him that all he needs to do is finish P2 and not let Bouncy win.
JT's on spot! There's no way to that! Oh, Midnight just basically shoved into the side, but JT is insane. Cobb is out. That's not going to be a safety car. But JT is absolutely nuts for what he just did.
Bouncy and JT both just hopped on that curb.
Oh my god. Ted gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Meanwhile, Midnight is desperately trying to hold off JT, I think, to help out his teammate here. But JT is looking really desperate. You can see Midnight making a couple defensive moves here and there. Once again, JT has no opening, but he's burning a lot of battery. He's looking on the outside, alongside, one tire ahead, full car ahead. He's pulled it off, now up to P3, and chasing after Jim for that P2. And you said the soft tires weren't cooking. He is cooking with gas right now.
He's cooking with gas, but
look at this helicopter view is gorgeous right now. 5 cars here battling it out for second place. Bouncy gets past Bum.
These softs are gonna fool you for these couple laps, but just wait till they fall off, and they're gonna be terrible. They're gonna be awful. He's got to make these moves done, and he has.
Okay, give me a quick second.
But once Bouncy is and Midnight goes off the track, Bouncy's gonna get on the battery. They make a bit of contact. Midnight kind of all over the place. Just fighting hard for this P4 with the tire disadvantage. Nikki G getting past the Dutch Raven into turn 3. It looked like gonna be pretty quick around these S's. You know, Nikki G doing his usual front row, back of the front row quali P11 race. You know, just what we expect from Nikki G. It's really just fantastic. Not being good in the race. JT already on the back of Jim. Jim 4 seconds back from Jake Laser. Jake Laser has had the pace all day. Unfortunately, he just cheated and overtook under the safety car. But, you know, JT just hustling Jim through these corners. And I may look like a hater right now because, yes, the softs are working, but also JT just seems to be faster than these guys, just on pure race pace. Bouncy trying to sneak in DRS here. No, he's not. JT was not patient again. Jim is going to get this move back done with DRS. JT's not going to have anything to fight him. So JT's, you know, just pulling along Jim, pulling along the championship leader for the good of everyone else. These are going to go side by side. It's going to be really tight if Bouncy's going to get DRS. Bouncy breaks late. They go side by side. Bouncy's going to get DRS, which is going to be crucial for him. Does he get the move on Jim? Yes, he does. Jim was squeezed under the exit with a yellow flag. It's Nikki G. What is he doing? I don't know. You guys aren't seeing anything I'm looking at, are you? Well, let's see if I can color commentate. Great. Benzo makes the move on Great Ace. Nikki G has to pit. Ted has a 3-second time, but I don't know how you do that here. Bouncy got the move on Jim out of the final corner, but Jim had the battery to overtake him back down the pit straight. Nikki G retired in the pits. I don't know what happened to him in the final corner. It looks like he spun himself or got spun by one of the Williams. JT is trying to hawk down Jake Laser, but it's going to be tough to break Jim out of DRS. Bouncy out of DRS. Jim falling on those old hard tires. The softs are not going to be as quick as the hards now. The crossover point has happened. JT is not going to be cooking like he said. He said he was cooking with gas. Maybe throw some oil and a gas together because those tires are going to explode.
Okay, there we go.
All right, we're back. Hello, everyone just saw midnight as a lot of stuff happened. Nikki had a spin and is now gone.
What? Oh no!
I was flaming Nikki about being in P11 after he started on the front row doing his usual and then spun in the last corner and retired.
Bouncy's out of battery, which is not good news for him, but great news for Jim. Because Jim could make this comeback happen. Jake is clear 5 seconds now. Jake could actually win this if he only gets a 5 second for what happened. But like he said,
bye-bye.
Yeah, the softs are officially dead. The mediums, though, aren't looking so hot anymore either.
Fine, Norm Bashes look good, but anyone like Midnight's tires are definitely done.
Oh yeah,
or they want to be done, but they're probably way worse. But they're really not 10 laps old. I mean, there's probably been like 6 safety car laps. Oh, and he just got on that curb, just mounted it. But yeah, Jim just doesn't have the pace. He hasn't had the pace. So if he can consolidate, again, Bounty's not winning the race. So Jim just stays here. His teammate can play defense for him. He's going to win the championship.
Yeah, this is... honestly, I sense a bit of a stalemate occurring at this point. Oh, Bouncy goes wide! That's allowed JT to be in the clear now, and Bouncy lost the DRS, which is really bad news for him. Great news for JT and for Jim.
Just cruising. And I don't know what happened to Jake, but JT just gained like a second this lap.
JT must have either found some extra time
just made a mistake too.
Yeah.
So
Jake still has over 50% battery to his name. He is not really all that concerned. But if Jake makes one mistake, well, and it's Jeddah, a lot can happen.
JT's tires are so done. They're bad. They're very bad now. He's got no traction, no grip, no front end, no rear. He doesn't have tires.
I thought you were about to say something else. Bounty just shoves JT aside to get the position. What? JT isn't having it. He's going to try and get the position back. Oh no! Bounty gets hit!
That was a bad move from JT.
That
was disgraceful.
I mean, Bouncy's wasn't much better.
I don't think Bouncy's was bad. Did he put him in the wall, or was it really close?
No, but Bouncy did kind of shove him aside to get the position.
It was tough there. I was watching Bouncy, and he was full lock. I think it's just the nature of the course.
Yeah, I mean,
JT just
JT's getting a penalty for that for sure. Like
JT dove into a corner.
Yeah, no, I'm not. Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like, 2 wrongs don't make a right.
Yeah, no, I'm totally agreeing with you. I'm just like, JT's got to keep a better head.
Yeah, like, that was a little too desperate.
Because Bouncy's was not a bad move at all.
It was rough. I mean, it was rough, but not terrible. JT's was not.
JT's was terrible.
Good. Yeah.
JT's was like just that put a bad taste in my mouth. He's had a fantastic drive, but he genuinely could have just stayed. And I mean, that also just won Jim the championship. So Jim is
clear. Jim is actually clear at this point. I think he's got the title. Oh, look at the speed difference right now. Jim is gaining so rapidly on a straight line. Those softs are absolutely dead. And Jim's hard tires, like, they're still going along just fine.
They're really not 12 laps old. They're probably only like 7 racing laps old. So
absolutely. So, I mean, Jim is just, like, chilling at this point. He's got his teammate behind to act as a great rear gunner. He's got a car with dead tires ahead. Like, Jim is just in, like, a perfect position.
And the Aston Martins have genuinely won Jim this championship, this race, because
they have.
I mean, it's not Nicky G's fault that he was put sideways onto the curb. I don't think it was. Was it contact between John and Nicky?
Okay. As you know, I'm a Red Bull driver, and John was my teammate. It was his fault. I'm sorry, John.
Okay.
Like, it was absolutely John's fault. He just kind of just
Just
punted the
lazily.
back,
Yeah.
like he just slightly punted the Aston Martin, and that slight punt was all it took to take them all out. And I'm
Yeah.
sorry,
So
John, that was on you from my perspective, but I mean,
Nikki
perspectives
G's
could be
spun
different.
car. Yeah, Nikki G's spun car took out Toast, and JT took out Bouncy
It
by
wasn't just
himself.
Toads, it was Ormamo. Meanwhile, Midnight goes for such a move, and he pulled it off. Oh
Oh, and he
no!
spun.
JT punted Midnight just a little bit.
I think it was a bit of both. Yeah, I
I
think.
think Midnight lost control, and JT's little tap didn't help. Like
Yeah,
I
and
think
Norm
it was
Bash
a
just
little bit
took
of
P
that.
three because of it.
Yeah,
S-
Norbash is on a mega drive right now. Went
Yeah,
from
JT's
potentially top
drifting.
5 to now a potential P2. As JT doesn't even fight this one, he just lets Norbash by. Norbash is
Yeah,
on his way to a P2, and if Jake gets the grid drop penalty, like you mentioned, Norbash could be securing victory in Tier 5.
yeah. I'm wondering how that the stewards will look at that Jake Laser incident. I mean, he's gonna
I'm,
get penalized. I just
yeah,
don't know if it'll be for this race or next race.
if
But
Jake even gets 10 seconds, Norbash is winning this.
yeah, I don't know.
Like, Norbash could actually win.
Will he get disqualified because he overtook under the safety? I don't know.
Maybe? I don't know. There's a lot of speculation with what the stewards could do. But I mean, this could
Any
mean a
stewards in
victory.
chat want to give us maybe an insight of what happens.
I agree.
Maybe an insight,
Yeah,
because
I
this is
mean that
probably something you guys don't have specifically in the rule book, and it's probably up to interpretation.
I agree with you on that. Like this is a little bit more of a new type of incident, but obviously, however this occurs, will set a precedent
10,
going
yeah, that
forward
makes
for it.
10 makes sense. He probably gained more than that alone,
I agree. 10 seconds, I think,
in theory.
is fair. And if so, that means Norbash is going to win this.
Yeah, and Jim's gonna be P2 because JT's probably gonna have at least
Oh,
five.
I suspect he's going to get a penalty for what occurred with Bouncy there. Absolutely. Because, I mean, Bouncy's now down to P7 for it. Meanwhile, Jim wants to get this P3 on merit, but JT breaks later. This might be a switchback attempt from Jim, though.
Yeah,
No,
I think
never
what
mind.
Jim wants to do is be obviously behind Norm Bash. Norm Bash is probably on the best tires on the grid. He wants to be able to get that move done on Norbash. Norbash makes a mistake and cuts the entirety of turn 5.
Wait, if Jake gets a 10-second penalty and this gap continues, Jake could see himself dropping several positions.
But Norbash is being just not driving good.
That's one for the curse counter. I'm sorry, Norbash.
I just watched Norbash make 6 mistakes, and JT is so slow. I don't know if JT's afraid. Look, David down the inside.
I'm increasing the curse counter for that one. I'm sorry. Norbash.
Yeah, I mean, I just watched Norbash make 4 mistakes in Sector 1 alone, and he makes a
Oh my
fifth right
god,
there.
Nathan is going for an insane move on the final lap, but he couldn't pull it off. Oh.
Okay, so Jake is just going to clear 10 seconds.
These drivers are not doing my heart rate any favors right now. This
Jim
is
also just, it might be more than 10 too, because I feel like you just have to make him lose positions for that. Like,
Yeah, absolutely. That, like I
like
100% agree with you on that one. Like that was just kind of ridiculous.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I feel like he can't just get away with that. So I feel like they're gonna look to give him.
Yeah,
He's gonna
Norbash
Jim is
is gonna
going to.
drop from second to fifth because of 1 3 second time penalty. It could be even six.
Yeah, and Jim, I think Jim might just win this race based off penalties.
You make that seventh for Norbash. And that's the thing. That's what one time penalty can do to you. That's all it takes. One time penalty, and you drop all the way down to P7.
JT passed you under
Norbash.
safety car
Oh.
too. Oh my goodness. Yeah, JT is having. He had a fantastic drive. He just
Oh, wait.
drove into a lot of other
Wait,
people.
and the MRL channel itself is saying 15 seconds for JT potentially. Oh
Yeah, I
my
don't.
god.
I think a
Jim,
position
I think, has
pen.
secured the title.
Oh, Jim did. Not Jim. We're only talking. Jim secured the title. He finished P2, so it's not gonna matter where anyone else finished. Um, Bouncy also finished 8th after I think Bouncy probably would have won the race, given the fact that Jake is going to get a penalty. Um, yeah, I don't know what JT's or Jake's penalty is going to be. I'm guessing it's going to be a grid drop, maybe off the podium. I don't know what they're going to do, but it's something they have to address, and he has to get away with that. Maybe a race ban, or I don't know. We'll see. but Jim won the championship, so we have to get Jim in for an interview.
We have to at least get Jim in. So I mean, let's see if we can snag Jim in here for a bit for an interview.
I'm gonna definitely get Jim in here because I think we're just gonna do. I think we're down for just a Jim interview right
Yeah,
now.
I agree. I think just Jim.
Because a lot of it under question.
Yeah, that's why I'm kind of hesitant to interview anybody else because we don't know how the penalties are going to affect anybody post race.
I think I watched Jim, and Jim. I don't think Jim did anything
I,
wrong
I
in the
I
race.
agree. Jim and my history like racing against him and being his teammate, very clean, consistent driver. And honestly, I'm pretty sure that's what netted him this entire championship by just keeping clean and consistent. That's all you need sometimes.
So I'll drag Jim in, and yeah, let's everyone who's in chat. Let's congratulate him on a fantastic championship, a dominant championship.
Yeah.
So yeah, hello Jim.
Hello, friends.
All right.
Just
So what a brilliant run you had, and with this race done, looks like if we're correct, this has just secured you the Tier 5 championship. So how do you feel with everything?
I was not expecting a podium today, in any
Neither
way,
was I.
shape, or form.
It might be a win.
Any way, shape, or form.
It might be a win
I-
with post race penalties.
I do not have. What's it called?
Pace.
I don't have. I did not have the pace here today at all.
No, I'm genuinely upset you got on the podium because you just seem to be on the podium no matter what.
I mean,
You've had one race this season off the podium, and you still finished like P6.
Yeah.
I mentioned this just a moment ago. I mean, Jim is just clean and consistent. Where other people make mistakes, he doesn't. Like that's all there is to it. That's how I managed to just snag a P5, then a P4 in Bahrain. I just like my pace wasn't even all that great. I just stayed out of trouble and was in no man's land for the entire race. And Jim basically that's the story of his season where he just had to clean, stay out of trouble, except his pace is way more impressive than mine. So, you know.
Yeah, can we just talk about the fact for everybody how outrageous it is? Jim has not finished outside of the top 5.
Yeah, I
This
mean,
whole
like
season.
again, like impressive pace, impressive consistency, keeping it clean, very little penalties, if any at all. Like that's all you need to do to win a championship. Sometimes you don't even need to be the fastest. You just gotta, be there when it counts.
Yeah, it's been one of the most consistent and one of the best seasons I've ever seen out of a driver.
Oh yeah, dominant,
Yeah,
100%.
you got to be proud of that, and just take us through like when you knew that this championship was you felt that you could win this championship.
Honestly, probably just last week. I mean, I know it seems a little crazy, but Toast really was not far behind before Bahrain, and he was only like 35 or 36 points away. So
Yeah, those 35 points can drop in an instant in
Yeah,
league
exactly.
racing.
Like if I had a bad race at Bahrain and he won, I mean that's down to 10 points right away. But
Yeah.
we both kind of had questionable races. Well, he finished outside the points of Bahrain, and I had a P5, so I was able to gain a little bit. But I knew today that I just needed to pretty much get in the points, and I'd be all right.
Yeah. So, tell me what you're thinking after that. I mean, just that massive incident there, where you see Toast DNFs.
Yep.
Did you did you feel a huge weight off your shoulder because Toast was your main rival? Bounty had to outscore you by 11 points to not be eliminated from the championship. So, I mean, the Aston Martin, you should probably go shake both of the Aston Martin's hands because they took out. I mean, Nikki didn't take out Toast, but I mean, Nikki was the reason Toast DNF'd.
Yeah.
And yeah, just what was that relief like? Were you just like, I don't even care who passes me. Like, just
Honestly,
were you just
I
like,
didn't
oh, thank
realize
God
it.
he's dead?
I didn't realize it honestly until that last safety car. The last safety car after it came out, Midnight and I were talking, and I didn't see the notification that Toast had DNF when I was racing. I only saw John Does Work was out. So I still saw a Mercedes driving around in the back, and I thought it was Toast. And then Cobb DNF'd later, and that's when I realized
Oh,
that
you're in the
Toast was
clear.
already out.
yeah. I mean, you might have won this race too.
Yeah, that's what I said. Like,
I mean, I
I
was
think
still
Jake is going
11
to get a
seconds behind.
penalty, and
I was still 11 seconds behind Jake, so I was still way back there.
I mean,
Yeah.
Jake overtook someone under the safety car to take the lead.
Oh.
So I mean,
Yeah,
like,
he overtook Nikki for the lead under the safety car.
yeah,
So
I mean, it could be potentially 15 seconds or even just like a straight up grid place drop post race. That's up to the stewards, of course, to decide all that. I'm unsure of the precedent of that kind of situation, so I'm not really one to truly comment on how that would work. But yeah, I mean, you had a
We'll see.
brilliant season. I can safely say that it was kind of frustrating seeing that rear wing of yours for quite a few races. You did a brilliant job though, like absolutely fantastic. This championship is 100% deserved. So congratulations to you, and
Before
we'll
we
probably
go,
be seeing
can I
you.
say something?
Oh yeah, absolutely, go for it.
Oh boy.
I just
Bugs is
wanted
here.
I just wanted to come
This
in
is Pogs for
and
anyone wondering.
I just wanted to come in and wish my very good friend Jim a well-deserved congratulations on his promotion to Tier 4 and a season full of P15 to P20 finishes.
I'm doing the tier 4 race today, so I'm gonna get my first work.
Here's the
in very
appetizer.
shortly here. Yeah.
Congrats, Jim.
Thanks, Pogs.
Yeah,
I mean, that's pretty much all. It's congratulations, Jim. I mean, there was no contest this
Yeah.
entire season. No
Brilliant.
one was close.
But just a brilliant season, brilliant consistency, season to be proud of, and we'll look forward to seeing you in Tier 4. I don't know if you'll be looking forward to Tier 4.
I will not. I mean, like Pog said, there will be definitely a lot of me battling for 14th, 15th, and 16th up there in that tier. But hopefully I can just do the same, keep it clean, and maybe squeak out some low-end points.
Yep, but just because the championship is secure, it doesn't mean the season's over. There's still plenty of other positions to vie for, and we'll be looking forward to next race next week when we make our way to one of the most iconic Formula One circuits of all time, Caesar's Palace. I'm kidding. We're going to Belgium.
Did Midnight finish in P4?
Maybe.
No.
I don't remember.
Or was it P?
No.
Was it behind JT? Was it right behind JT?
It was behind
Midnight,
JT, I want to say.
Midnight finished P11.
What happened to Midnight?
What happened to Midnight?
What happened to Midnight?
So he spun coming out of the final corner.
Oh yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did.
I totally forgot he did that.
And he had to he boxed for a new wing, and then he went and got fastest lap.
This race was so insane. We actually forgot about Midnight spinning and all.
And we watched that whole thing happen.
Like so much happened this race. It was very eventful.
Yeah. So I was just saying that because the constructors is pretty close to being over too.
Yeah.
We were trying
next
to.
Week you guys can clinch it.
Yeah, it was tough because we had very different setups. I was running very high downforce, and he had a low downforce. So we were trying to manage it at the end, trying to figure out who needed to be where. And he just got on the throttle too early in the last corner. But he was way faster than me on the straights, even when I had DRS. So
yeah, I mean, like we said, the season's not over. I mean, the Drivers' Championship is wrapped, probably been wrapped for the last 3 rounds. But next week we fight for the constructors. Yeah. Well, I watch you guys fight for the constructors. You'll be about 60, maybe 70 plus points ahead. So you guys really just only need to finish in the points, and you'll be fine.
Yep.
And don't let them get a 1-2. So
Spa's my favorite track. So we'll see.
Good luck to you and Midnight for the rest of the season and for the Constructors Championship.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, thanks for your time.
It's been a pleasure to watch.
bigger time. Oh my god, I can pronounce it apparently. Anyways, that was a pretty exciting race, very eventful. Little part of me is disappointed that I didn't race in it now, but like 'cause that would have been a whole lot of fun. I will look forward to getting back into racing full time next season, and I think everybody else is going to be very much looking forward to the last 2 rounds of the season. Championship may be wrapped up for the drivers. Constructors still has yet to see a conclusion, and there's still plenty of other battles to be had in the final 2 races next week, Belgium, and the final race being at Australia. Now, there is a possibility. There is a slight possibility this championship may be extended for a couple races longer. Like I did see that as a suggestion in like the season discussions, I guess you could say. Someone suggested that. I don't think that's gonna happen, but obviously we have a long intermission between this game and the next one.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen because then Pogs probably wouldn't have come in and congratulated him on the
Exactly.
championship.
That's why I say like it's a possibility, but I kind of doubt it. What I'm expecting to occur is like we may have like a one-off mini for fun season like in between. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe I don't know. We may just have like a nice long break for everybody to just relax after what have been some very exciting recent seasons in MRL, and then we'll all come back strong for the new game. Which I'm hoping that with the new engine and everything they're going to be doing, it's going to be better. But we'll have to find out.
That was it?
Yeah, that's everything. I've been Mike Mage, and this has been Dreams, and we'll see you all next time.